trying to get them all. Except for the 3, they're usually already ready to rock and roll. Braden, he's like, he'll wait till the last minute.
Yeah, he had to miss the bus the other day.
You're not wearing your funky hat? With the strings on it?
No.
Why not?
Yeah, it looks so weird. Yeah, you wanted it until Dad said that.
I should have just looked funny because it's got the strings on it and it's your mom's.
Yeah, cut the strings off.
Family, I mean, it's everything. And she pretty much has to hold the fort down because I work nights and she works days, so it kind of, the scheduling works out somewhat decent. But when you got 4 kids playing baseball, you know, we're having to try to figure out how we're going to meet and swap kids and drop kids off. So we kind of get it done. Trying to get everybody up and out the door. Got 3 that got to get on the bus, and then I take 1 to the babysitter. And then if I work the night before, I try to sleep for 3 or 4 hours before I have to go pick him up and do it all over again. And that's if the radio doesn't go off or phone doesn't ring. When I moved out here the first time, before I went in the service, Bob and Penny kind of took me in under their wing as their only son, adopted son. They've got 2 daughters. My dad died my first tour, and my grandparents died my second and third tour, so I've just got aunts and uncles back home. I really didn't have anything there, and he got me into the fire department here, and so he's kind of like my pops away from my pops.
He pulled up in front of my fire department over in Portland. I said, you know, if you're here to wear the shirt or just here to run the lights and sirens, you're in the wrong place. He said, oh no, he said, I love it. I really do love it. And I could see the sparkle in his eye. And he kind of reminded me of me.
And he was like, oh, that's just...
A week later, close to that, I offered him a place to stay and just kind of took him under my wing. And he asked me one night, me and my wife, he said, you mind if I call you Pop and Mom? And I said, no, I'd be honored. I'd be honored.
You don't get voted into this position. You get appointed by the previous chief, and that takes a lot. That means that somebody had the compassion and the strength in and confidence in what Chris could do to appoint him to be the chief, because it takes a whole lot to be a chief for a department like this.
There's a lot of different layers to him. No, I don't mean that in a bad way. There's just a lot of different layers to him. He's devoted to service, so that's something you see, but I mean, you also see different sides of him when he's at work or family, and you know, I'm sure everybody's like that, but you learn to adjust to the different layers.
Well, I've got 17 members that I've got to make sure that they stay alive on calls, and it takes a toll. I kind of knew what I was getting into, but I didn't realize how much I was getting into till I went down there. I mean, it's a big responsibility.
All in favor of morning pride. And morning pride it is.
He has his issues, and he deals with a lot of stuff in his personal background with what he went through in the war. So he has this that he deals with and keeps it as a compartment over here. He doesn't let that compartment flow over too much. But when it does, we're still a family. The fire department is a big family. It doesn't matter if I'm on this department or it's somebody else on a different department. If a firefighter needs something, you're going to get it.
I was pretty much in denial. I didn't think I had PTSD. But when your family's walking around on eggshells because of the issues, and you don't realize it because it just seems like secondary normal day to day, yeah. It was almost a breaking point for pretty much all of us. My first tour, it was kind of, you didn't know what was going to happen. You know, bullets start flying, you start freaking, mortars go off, you start freaking, but I mean, it pretty much get accustomed to it after a while. The whole transitioning thing it takes time. Converting from military back to civilian world, I mean, it's like night and day. I mean, you think about the things that happen over there, and you think about what could have been, what you could have done different, but I mean, the man upstairs has got a plan for everybody, so you're just here for the ride. This one here, it's my first tour in Iraq. It's Borrego and me. We were living in bombed out buildings. This one here, obviously, we couldn't do anything with, but the ones that were standing, that's pretty much where we set up shelter and made home. This one's a lot of memories. That's my grandfather, my grandmother, they've both passed away. This was me right after I got out of AIT and was home on leave before I went to Fort Riley, Kansas. I just bought this truck. And that's the day we put my dad in the ground after he passed away. I had to come home from Iraq 2 weeks early. But it's pretty tough. I try not to be emotional, but it's, if you think about things, my dad never got to meet any of the grade kids, so that kind of, that eats at me.
He contacted me one night and he said, "Pop, I'm getting to come home." He said, "I'm coming home and I'm going to need a little place to stay." And I said, "You got it, your family, son." I said, this is your home, you know. And I said, "You're going to need a job." I said, "What do you want to do?" He said, "Oh, well, I want to do what you do." He said, "Oh, yeah, I want to drive a truck. I want to do what you do." And I said, "Well, I'll get you hooked up." He just took to it like a duck to water. And I said, "You're a natural." I said, "You'll be fine." He's overcome some of the things that he came back with from Iraq. It changes you. I could see a change in him whenever he came back. But with that being said, he's strong. He's strong. He's very, very viable guy. He's going to do everything that it takes to make it happen, because I always taught him, don't you ever give up on me. Never, never give up. Go down fighting, but you never give up.
I mean, I don't think there's anything special about us. I mean, everybody's built different. I try to keep my emotions, you know, but you think about things, it's hard. You just adapt and overcome. Got to keep on trucking.